Welcome everyone. This is May 18th, 2019. We're having a flower show here in Ortonville, and this is also Historic Month. So we've invited 3 of our legends from Ortonville that have lived here pretty much their whole lives. Their childhood, they've gone to school here, they've raised their children here. In fact, they have children and grandchildren that live in the community. And we really wanted to make sure that we get some of these stories recorded so that they aren't lost. So I'm going to introduce from left to right. This is Arnold Seelbinder. He went to school here at the Mann School as a youngster and has lived here all his life, has his own business. He'll tell you about that later. And his lovely wife, Mary Alice Seelbinder, who was a past president of the Historical Society for many years. And then on the right is Mr. Ron Sutton. You might have read a little bit about him. He had a big birthday just recently, and so we kind of talked about some of the things in the newspaper and at different events that he's experienced. So with that, I am going to just open it up for them to talk about things that were important to them. And we're going to start with the lady, because ladies are first. So, Mary Alice, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Mary Alice Jessie Seelbinder, and I have lived in Ortonville for 72 years. I know that's a long time.
Yes.
And I was born in rural Clare County, Harrison, Michigan, and I lived there all my life until I was 12 and a half. Then I moved to Harrisville, Michigan, and everybody got that confused. My stepfather was a Michigan conservation officer in the Hadley Hills, Metamora area. We moved here in 1948, and I went to Ortonville High School for 2.5 years. My brothers and sister were just in the grade school level, and I am one of 9 children, and only 2 girls and 7 boys. There were 5 boys in the Jessie family and 2 by another marriage in the Cunningham family. I unfortunately lost my father when I was 6 years old. In 1937, there was an epidemic of scarlet fever. And on the rear of in our building here, there is a letter from the Ortonville High School superintendent telling the parents to keep their children home because of the terrible epidemic. And they were not to go out. They were not going visiting, and they couldn't play out because of the epidemic. And so after that, we moved from the farm and we moved into town, and that's where I was until I moved to Harrisville. My first job when I was 14, before that babysitting, but at 14 I worked in the Harrisville drugstore. And I thought it was just a wonderful place to work. You could get cherry Cokes, you could get lemon Cokes, and these were all made at the soda fountain by using syrup, Coke syrup, and then the flavoring, and then the carbonated water. And everybody loved them. It tasted much better than the Coke tastes today. And we served ice cream, and it was a small drugstore. And the school was up on the hill. I would excuse myself from class 10 minutes early. I would run down the hill, eat my lunch on the way, and work at the drugstore at noontime because the children had an hour. So they would leave school and go down to the drugstore if they had any money at all, and then I would run back. This was on US 23. The train ran through there, and one day, the train was parked across the tracks, and I was feared that I was going to be late. I crawled underneath the train, across the tracks, to get back to school on time. I didn't tell anyone at school because I didn't want it to get back to the teachers. But I know that was a silly thing to do, but kids do stuff like that.